In Civil Site Design V24, the model viewer now includes some catchment, ponding and low point analysis. This can be found under the Analysis tab in Model Viewer on the Catchment Analysis button. In the form, we can choose the surface that we would like to analyse. Now in this case we're going to be choosing the road, which is under Total Model, but you can see here we can pick Civil 3D surfaces, we can also pick pasted or combined surfaces. In this case we will pick Total. The cell spacing is essentially a grid size. Now when you're first trying this out, I would suggest that you try to stay around the value of 10 to ensure that you don't end up with some high processing time. So if we leave this at 10, click Process Surface, you'll see that that was pretty quick. We can reduce this number if we wish, but on your first pass maybe just leave it at this value or increase it if you need to. Underneath we can then choose the type of analysis we want to undertake. So in this first instance we'll use the ponding analysis, which is essentially looking for any low points within the project, and if water was to have landed in a particular spot, where that water would pond. So the way that this works is we leave ponding analysis checked, click on calculate, and we'll be prompted to click a point within the drawing environment, preferably within the confines of that particular surface. So I'm simply going to pan down here and left click within this intersection. As we do that, the calculation will take place, and then the grid or ponding cells will then be coloured appropriately. So you can see here the position where we clicked was roughly in the middle of that intersection there, and any water that would land there would pond within this particular model, within these two zones, as you can see further down. So if you want that processing to be a little bit more detailed, because that grid is fairly large, we can change the cell spacing to 5, click on Process Surface, which will take a little bit longer, click on Calculate. We'll be again prompted to click in the drawing environment. We're going to left click on the surface around the intersection. As you can see there, we've got more detail occurring around the extent of where that particular ponding would occur. We also have the option of running single catchment analysis. Now in this example what I've done is used the pasted surface, which combines the existing, the road and this basin together, and what I'd like to do is determine the catchment roughly for this particular spot down here. So all we do is we click on Calculate, click OK, and again we're prompted to click within the drawing environment. So I'm going to left click just down here in the bottom corner of the basin, and as you can see, as we do that, the software is going to go ahead and analyse the entire pasted surface, which, as I said, combines all of those surfaces together, and determine that would be a single catchment area. Now you can output this to CAD. So if we zoom out and click on Output to CAD, we choose a layer. In this case we'll leave it at 0 and click OK. The software will now go ahead and draw the extent of that particular catchment for us. Sometimes the software may have difficulty following the edge or the extents of this particular catchment, but by and large what you'll find is that the software will do a pretty good job of being able to ascertain that for you. The last option is to identify low points on your surface, and the software just simply puts a marker in the model view environment to see this. So in this case we're going to use Total Model as the surface. We're going to go find low points, and this buffer size cell becomes available for entry. Now we're going to leave this at 2. Again, we would recommend that you edit this after you have tried the calculation to get a sense of the time scale. So leave this value as it is. You may need to decrease or increase this value as we see fit. So let's just click on Calculate. Now in our particular example we had no low points detected. This just basically means we need to decrease the buffer size by making that value smaller. So we'll make that 1 and click on Calculate. And as we do that, you can see the software identifies low points with these markers. As you can see here on this particular curve return, we seem to have a low point which we may need to have to go and fix through the design. You can output these into the drawing environment. They'll be outputted as Civil Site Design COGO points. So if you click on Output to CAD, all you'll need to do here is simply pick a code set. So just pick Design Code Set if you wish, click on Select, and we'll basically keep the point description as SO and click OK. All this is really doing is providing you, the user, with a marker in the drawing environment. So if we move this form over to one side, we can see there that this is being identified as a low point, and this is being identified as a low point. Now if you don't want these in the drawing environment anymore, simply left click and then hit the delete key to remove them from the drawing. Obviously as you run this analysis you can update them by running the Output to CAD each time.